right. Let's see. All right. Well, I just want to document my thoughts right now. Just got done spending, maybe I should say wasting, because really, it doesn't matter. Man, stressed out. It affects you physiologically, affects everything spiritually. Anyways, I just got done with going to the trying to get the the family counseling records from 2010, where me and my girls all went to and their mom and everything went to counseling, and of course I can't get those just because they happen to be under her name. She's she filed it. She had insurance. We pay half, split the insurance, but it was under her name. So so yeah, I can't get that without some sort of who knows what. I guess medical records are different than mental health records, and I don't know. Anyways, then another check on my to-do list was to go to family court. That's always wonderful. So I went there to get records, as many records as I could, regarding just everything. Turns out they destroyed Anjelica's records because of the law after age 19. If there hasn't been any action within 5 years, they destroy it. So there's nothing there. But good thing is I have copies of everything anyway. So anyways, going into the family court was stressful. Even though it's just a building, right? Just an office building. But you know what? You're dealing with something sacred. It should be more like a church. You know what I'm saying? Something sacred, because you're dealing with families, you're dealing with children, and we're trying to put them through this system, this cold, calculated system of law. Anyway, so going through my records, the long and short of it is, basically, with the system, what it does is it really breaks you down. It makes you feel like just a pile of garbage. I tried to protect my children. In 2010, I tried to protect them because a man came around that was living around them that had a horrible criminal record. It was bad circumstances all around. He was his brother was living there, 18-year-old brother. So two guys that she barely knew, the mother barely knew, living with my three daughters. My oldest daughter, Anjelica, she wasn't talking to me anymore. So, I'm really worried about her, and all of it's very clear. All of it's very clearly written. But the stress that I went through, that I felt at that time, the emotional stress of that, it played out, and it ended up making me look really bad. And the focus ended up coming on to me. And so during the process, there was one incident, for instance, where the mom came with her new boyfriend, came up to me and wanted to take Gracie out of my arms. And of course, I was already, triggered by that before that, by having this guy in the picture. We already were in custody, thrown into custody. This is 2 months in, and I hadn't made any headway. It's 2 months. It's when you have a situation where you're worried for your children's safety, a day, 2 days is forever. So this is 2 months in. The courts aren't doing jack. And at this point, I had been trying to communicate with the guardian ad litem, and he hadn't communicated back with me. He's reading my stress as being an antagonistic force in all this, because I'm stressed for the safety of my kids. Anyways, during that situation where Jennifer came up to me to take Gracie right out of my arms, I stood up and got in her face, got in her little boyfriend's face, little weasel piece of crap that's in jail right now for killing. Well, no, he's in jail for stupid other crap, but he's a killer. We all know who he is. Freaking little pussy. Anyway, he was there. I blew up in his face. And I'm not ashamed of it one bit. The court has no allowance for that kind of behavior. Where I come from, there weren't police around. I'm not bragging or nothing like that. It's just the way it was. I grew up in Montana, or well, I grew up in Arizona and Montana in the country, and we handled our business ourselves. You know, my mom brought me up to you know, anyway, not getting all the whole thing. Just basically the bottom line is we handle our business ourselves, and it's not a big deal to confront somebody, especially a grown man. Now, if you go hurting kids, that's a whole different thing. You know, or female for that matter. And I never struck Jennifer at all, my wife, or any woman for that matter. So I'm totally, my conscience is clear about, you know, that. Of course, there's plenty of stuff on my conscience, but anyway, this situation, I got the assault charge. The guardian ad litem responded all in an uproar, saying everything, you know, I'm acting crazy, it's all my fault. Even though prior to that 2 weeks he had ignored my emails to him about very valid things that were happening with my children that I was so worried about. And then this one incident finally happens, and all of a sudden I'm the bad guy. I have to spend $1,500 for a lawyer to explain that this is totally stupid and dismiss it. Got dismissed. Didn't stop a protective order from happening. Didn't stop the judge and everybody else from thinking that I'm crazy. Anyways, so, you know, the guardian ad litem, Charles Johnson, I've put it before out there. He's an idiot. He's a complete idiot. He misread the situation. He did not do his work as a guardian ad litem, the bare basics of his work, which is to protect the children, and not to believe accusations that are flung around, because anybody can make an accusation. And you know, these courts know about it. You know, this is the oldest game in the book. These courts know about this accusation crap, and they don't do nothing about it, because to them it's almost like they're hungry for the drama. It's crazy, man. They're like sharks. You know, and the same thing happened in the latest custody hearing. You know, the same thing. I guess they call it the silver bullet, basically where the mom, typically, I guess the dad could do it, but the mom basically starts saying, oh, he did this, he did that, you know, and they fall for it. And it doesn't matter if it gets dismissed. It doesn't matter. You still get the protective order. You still get looked at like a crazy person. You still get, you know, the guardian ad litem saying that, you know, you're unstable and all this other crap based solely off what the mother says. She appears to be so together, you know, taking the children with her in the situation to kind of make it, make her appear like the motherly type, you know, stuff like that. Meanwhile, I am a very attentive parent to my children. I was a 50-50 dad. Should have been more. Actually, I was more in actuality. Just by the law, it's 50-50. But I had the kids more often for a good long time. Part of it was because they went to school where I taught. And part of it was because Jennifer was out finding what she says, finding herself. I won't go into detail what all that means, because that's not even worth my breath. Anyways, what it kind of boils down to, I mean, I look at the system and I say, yeah, the system's stupid. I mean, it's not just stupid, but it's purposely stupid. It's purposely adversarial. It's set up to discontinue this drama. And we fall for it. We all fall for it. The mother's manipulated to the hilt. And men too. Men are getting better at it these days, because men are more that type than they probably used to be, to where they just manipulate it and they, you know, are able to convince people how warm and fuzzy they are in actuality. So the courts are really geared towards the liar. That's essentially what it is. They are geared to accept the liar as the truth. And that's it. We know that. Everybody knows that. How is that even, you know, the courts are supposed to be the one place, besides like a church. It's like the next level down from a church as far as I'm concerned. You have the law. You know, God's law is sacred, right? Well, man's law, which is based off of God's law, is almost as sacred as far as its you know, as far as a human endeavor, it is just, you know, sacred, you know. It's a place where we should go there and we should find true justice. Truth and justice should shine there in the courtroom. And maybe that's why they thought, custody situations should be handled in the courtrooms. It almost made sense to begin with. Well, it shouldn't. It's the wrong place. As we know now, it's a totally failed experiment and needs to be in a social setting, some sort of setting where there's professionals that have one little bit of a clue about family dynamics, and they come together in a non-adversarial situation, because it's already adversarial. I mean, you have to somehow temper that, because then you just will keep going. You have to let people know your accusations mean nothing until they're real. You don't use that as leverage. Don't ever use children as leverage. The minute you do that, it's strike against you. It's a human thing. Okay, I understand. So you don't just throw them in hell, but it's a big strike. You start using kids as leverage, bad. Anyways. Point is, what it comes down to, short and sweet of it, I hate to say it, but in my case, and I think many others, it comes down to the dynamic between the people. I can't blame Jennifer completely. She did defensively what she felt she needed to do. I really feel like she did horribly wrong, but she lied in order to protect her position. I wouldn't stoop to lie. I would not stoop to lie. If there's anything that's there's sometimes where you kind of fudge things where they ask for, I don't know, they might. For the most part, I almost don't lie about anything. That sounds bad. But I'll be honest, for me it doesn't matter. But for most guys or people that are trying to do child support, they're gonna lie about how much money they make. Me, I didn't lie about how much money I make. I just might not have included some money that I make on the side, mowing the yards and stuff like that. Other than that, it is the truth for me. But that anyway. And I'm insistent on the truth. Honestly, that's just there's some things I left out actually in favor of the mother. I never talked about some of the stuff she did that resulted in the end of our marriage. It's, stuff like that. I never badmouthed her enough. I should have just been cutthroat, man. But I was a nice guy. That nice guys finish last. And my daughter's dead because I was a nice guy. I didn't know to appeal it. I should have appealed it. I should have kept my icy cold cool during that whole thing. I would have gotten full custody of the girls. Her alienation of Anjelica was crystal clear. All the dynamics were there. Her mental status, the mother's mental status, was very clearly not in the best interest of the children. But it was all overshadowed. Even a man as dangerous as Wesley Hatzel, who is now a career criminal, who is now deemed a career armed criminal, with such a bad record, even his record was ignored in comparison to my being upset. My yelling at a softball coach who was a total scumbag, Teresa Carter, total pile of garbage, getting her nose in our business, trying to get up in my kids' business. She had no business coaching kids or being an assistant coach, whatever she was doing. And she got up all in our business, testifying in court. She came. She's not even she's like a distant family friend. Her daughter. The only reason that we know her daughter is from softball, and her daughter wandering the fields alone, the softball fields alone. And we took her in. I felt sorry for her, and we started talking to her and everything. And and she became friends with Justice, my one of my daughters. I mean, this woman, I shouldn't keep on bad mouthing her, but she just disgusts me. Because she added to the testimony and tried to make it, add to the idea that I'm this bad guy because I had a verbal altercation with her where I told her to leave, keep her nose out of my kids' business. And then I had to pull my kids out of softball, pull one of my daughters out of softball because of how nasty she was. And then that all came out in court, making it look like I'm trying to pull them out of sports and I'm trying to be distant. Even if I did, it has nothing to do. Look up the best interest laws. It's not even close in that. It's nothing, because right out of, I was involved so deeply in the sports. That was my thing. So you don't tell me about trying not to be involved or something that's stupid. Anyway, I took her out of softball. She didn't want to be in softball anyways. I knew that. Why didn't the mom know that? The mom was forcing her to do it. Anyway, I took her out of softball. I put her in karate where I went with her. I didn't have to do the karate classes with her. I've proven over and over how much I love my kids and how in action. I don't need no court to validate me. I don't need the mom to validate me. I don't need nobody to validate me. Even my kids have forgotten it. That's typical of kids. That's fine. We don't need nobody to validate me. I can't stand up for everybody out there. I can't say that you're all good parents. Everybody out there in this world are good parents just because they've been wrong. But in my situation, I tried so hard. I was there, present with my kids, day in, day out, on a regular basis, loving them and attentive and supporting and everything I could. So nobody can ever take that away. But the courts tried. The courts try to say, no, you're just crazy, man. Because I got passionate about my children's well-being. So I'm crazy. Okay. Anyway, I'm getting all over the place. I don't even know where I was. The point is, there's things that I could have done differently. I could have been stronger and more firm in my thoughts, more clear in my thoughts. I have depression. I fight through it, man, and I'm proud of myself for it. I don't let my depression stop me from getting the essential things done in life. But I fought through it back then. I've been through a lot as a kid and as a young man or whatever. A lot of stuff that would have destroyed most people. And I'm proud to be even, functional. And so nobody can take that away from me. Only one that can take that away from me is myself. But they can take your kids, and they can sentence your kids to death, because that's what they did with mine. And now I wait for my other two. I pray daily, just like I did with Anjelica, praying fiercely with all my determination, talking to people constantly. What do I do? What do I do? How can I do this? People at church say, come here, and you stay coming here, and then things will work out. People on this, everybody had different advice. She'll come around, and the same thing. Now here we are again. My other two daughters, same thing, living the lie. Totally fell for it. On top of the obvious, on top of how obviously insane this whole thing is, they still believe that I'm the bad guy because the mom said it. And I was just reading through all the documents. I had just got back from the family court, looking at all the documents and making sure I have copies of everything, and just going through the reminder of how everything went down. And how did I end up, going through all this? I had to go through a psych eval, parenting assessment, all this stuff. And I didn't do nothing wrong. Well, I shouldn't say that. I mean, I'm not a perfect person, but I smacked some kid. Wasn't a kid. He's a kid to me. He's a 19-year-old punk, bigger than me. He decided to get up in my face, talking about how he sees my kids more than me. And I smacked him. I got an assault charge on that. I got dismissed, but the bottom line is I did smack him, and and that was a situation out of anger. But he's a man that said that he's going to step up to me. He's going to rub it in my face that he sees my kids more. He's talking trash about me online like he knows me. His name's Kevin Boyd. He's a total pussy. Total pussy. Just like Andre Barr. Just like Colin Sanders. They're all a bunch of pussies. They might be out there acting like they're tough. They're all big guys. They're muscle heads, wrestling, powerlifting, but they're pussies. That's the bottom line. And I'm saying pussy because they're not men. You can be as strong and as fast and as agile as you want, but until you put your money where your mouth is with caring for other people more than you care for yourself, You're not a man. You know, I've been there. I've already been there and whooped people twice your size. It does not impress me at all. And I probably whoop all you guys right now. I challenge any one of you to a fight. Little wrestler Colin Sanders, at least he was a little decent, little bit, but not really. He joined on the bandwagon. So, you know, you know, Drew Hatzel, all a bunch of pussies. And they all know exactly what they did. And there's been no accountability for what happened to Anjelica. None. And these people, they're all part of it. They're all part of the same game. They all knew Wes was a punk, a total pile of crap to be raising kids. Yet they all treated me like crap all the way up and through the time till he got arrested. Then they all shut their fat little stupid mouths. Yeah, well, the time's going to come around. And that's exactly what happens. Karma, I don't care what you call it, karma, whatever. It's a real thing. And it comes around. And I don't have to do anything. I gladly would if it came to where I had to. But I don't have to. I put it in God's hands. And that's what it is. Karma isn't just a magical force. It's an intelligent creator. Anyway, that's obvious to me. But these guys, you know, I could go down the list. A bunch of people spoke trash about me while Anjelica was missing and afterwards, because I again was standing up for my children and for what's right. So, am I aggressive when it comes to defending my family? Yep. Am I antagonistic to the? Yeah. I could be antagonistic when it comes to protecting my kids. When it comes to defending my own self, okay, yeah, I've been there too. But mostly, if you mess with my family, I don't really care what you want to call it. You want to call me names or whatever. I'm going to do what I have to do to protect my family. You know, outside of put myself in jail, that would not protect them. So yeah, I really don't care. I mean, how about Catherine Hatzel, Wes's mom? She's his biggest supporter, paying all of his bills, paying. God, I could go on and on about this whole pile of crap, man. Oh my gosh, it's just insane. The whole thing is freaking insane. I just want peace in my life. I don't want this crap. See, I look like the bad guy because I'm worked up. I'm worked up over this crap. Oh my gosh. I get worked up, you know. I'm supposed to protect my children, and look what happens. You know, at least I protected them while they're young, up until they became teenagers. And I think once they become teenagers, and just like the court says, they can choose for themselves. Well, my children chose for themselves. They chose wrong because they were led down a path by a liar, by a person who doesn't know better, a person who needs guidance herself. That's why she needed me as a husband, but she decided to throw that away so that she could find herself, because she was whatever. I'm not getting the whole thing, but if we would have kept together as a family unit, our children would be okay. So keep that in mind as you guys are deciding to go about your merry little selfish ways, and keep in mind that you break up God's divine, what God puts together, let no man put asunder or take apart, is what the Bible says. Maybe we should, need to read the Bible more often, get very familiar with it, because all the truth is in there. We can count on that as being truth. And you don't just take away a marriage. You do that and bad things happen. So you got, so selfishness is never a good thing. It always comes back to haunt you. If you're whatever you're doing, if you're doing it out of selfishness, it'll come back to haunt you. It's just that simple. I mean, anyway, I can go on and on about the craziness. You can go on and on, man. It's like I said, Catherine Hatzel. You want to start talking about people. Who's to blame in this situation? It's all the people that did nothing when Wesley Hatzel was living with my daughters. They did nothing. They decided that they're just going to sit on their hands with their thumbs in their butts and do nothing. Those people, the people that encouraged Wesley Hatzel, making him look like a legitimate person just like his mom did. He's not a legitimate person. He's a scumbag. She knew it. Everybody knew it. He didn't do nothing. People that encouraged that stupid relationship that made me look like a pile of garbage. Your time's coming. You know, courts might not do anything about it, but God will. I can guarantee that. So yeah, all you people that talked your trash about me, what a horrible father I was because of the lies that you were told. You know, maybe there's a little forgiveness in there because you were told lies and you were, you know, thought you were defending my children. People like Drew Hatzel and Colin Sanders and Bear Feasel, Marilyn Wells, Tim Moran, Andre Barr, I can't think of the rest of them right now. They know who they are. You all thought you were doing the right thing, maybe, I guess, but you're too immature. You're too stupid to know what the right thing is for my kids. All right? That's my kids. You don't know what's right for my kids. I just can't believe it, man. It's insane. All these morons just came out of the woodwork to battle me as a father. I mean, how insane is that? Not only do you got to battle the mother, but you got to battle all of her idiots. So you got all Wesley Hatzel's family. You got Wesley Hatzel, the total con artist himself, totally manufacturing a whole world of total crap. Battling all the people that he convinced and his wife convinced that I'm the crazy one and that he's the decent one, even though he's got freaking tattoos on his eyelids. He's a moron, scumbag, tattooed from head to toe, all prison tats, because that's all he's done in his whole life is spend time in prison. Totally neglected his own son, but yet somehow they all decided he's the one that's right for my kids. And it's all because this right here, this right here where I get worked up. I get worked up and bent out of shape because this it tears at me, man. I'm trying to do what's right for my kids. You got these idiots in the way. And now my kids are out there, you know. The two that are alive still, assuming they are alive. Their mom wouldn't tell me. She wouldn't tell me crap. She didn't tell me that she pulled them out of school. She doesn't tell me nothing. She didn't tell me that, you know, they got jobs, they got health issues, nothing. No words. And she sends me something in the mail saying, I want I want you to sign over for a passport? What? You serious? You want me to sign for a passport? Are you crazy? You invite hell upon my children, and then you treat me like total crap the whole time. Disrespect, just total crap. When I was handing out flyers looking for Anjelica, my child, the one I raised as my child, and you treated me like such garbage, telling everybody that I'm interfering and that I'm a pile of crap. I abandoned my kids, or that whatever you said. I don't know what all crap you said to convince everybody that I'm this horrible person. But whatever you said, I hope you're proud of it, because it will come back and bite you. God bless Anjelica. I love her so much, and I'm so sorry that she had to pay like that. I'm so sorry that she had to pay. I wanted what was right for her. I tried. Maybe her mom thought she did, but she didn't. She's a fool. She would have respected me just a little bit. Too much pride. Ridiculous. Oh, man. When will it stop? What can we do to stop this? Everybody needs to get together, sing Kumbaya, but that doesn't help because everybody's still out for themselves. Still selfish. That's got to change before we can do anything else. But yeah, I have nothing good to say about anybody right now because I'm just going through reminding myself of all the crap that's happened and where it's all ended up. I haven't seen my kids in 15 months. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I read through there, did I do some stupid things because I was emotional? Yep, I did. I told my kids when we went out on the mountain after they were being complete rebellious brats. It was, and that was put in them by their mother. And they were just being rebellious, and we were just trying to go on a peaceful hike. I was just trying to get some peace and just bring them to a beautiful place, and they were just being total little brats. And I finally just blew up, and I said, you know what? Stay right here. I'm going up to finish the rest of the climb myself. I said, I hope I die while I'm up there. And I did. I said that. And was that smart? No. Did I regret it after I did say that? Yes. Do I wish I died up there? Well, kind of. But, that's the kind of stupid crap I've done. And I have done it. Being emotional doesn't help. Saying things, because you can't control your emotions. And yelling at my kids during this whole thing because they're being so defensive for their mom and of their friends. And I'm trying to tell them, these kids are not good for you. And you don't need to be, turning against your father for these children, these other kids, or 19-year-olds, whatever they are. And fighting them on that, having them disrespect me completely. I mean, it was a total mess. So, total mess. And, gas. But, so I admit, I said some stupid things. Did I abuse my children? No, I mean, well, I don't know. I guess you could say I did. Maybe I did. I don't know. By being so freaking emotional, sometimes I'd be off sulking in my room. Sometimes I'd snap at them during the process. The process of grieving after Anjelica and going through the anger process of all that and trying not to be negative around my kids. Trying so hard not to be negative around my kids. And everything that I would say came out really stupid and got totally overblown and exaggerated. Like, for instance, I said that I said heads would roll if, something about the heads would roll. And they went and told and I was talking about